Hey friends, I'm here with another video, and this one is going to be on how I play a Shadowknight. Yes, I'm here with Goblyn in Vexar, which I feel is a great place for a Shadowknight because Shadowknights do pretty good against Undead. So without any further dilly-dallying, I'm going to invis up to get past these Goblins because the Goblins are not Undead. And with any video that I do on how I play a class, I'm not going to be multi-boxing. I'm going to play the class solo as is and hope that it just comes off as a decent way on how to play it. Of course, you don't usually solo, you do play in a group, but it's easier for me to make a video when I'm just doing things solo and I could sort of just talk about everything and nobody has to wait on me while I'm explaining things in the video. You know what I'm saying? So here's where the undead start. So we're going to switch to invisibility to undead stuff. We've got improved invis to undead because I want to get in a little deeper here in the dungeon, and these guys are green, so they are not going to be much of a challenge. Besides, my mission is to kill the hand. And hey, we have a named. I wonder if I have a calm for undead things. Yes, I have rest the dead. So this should work. Although I can only rest things up to 45 and that's 49. So I'll probably get 2, but that's okay. These guys are light blue anyway, but I'm not gonna let an undead get away. I think I'm going to replace Spear Plague with an undead spell. Direct damage undead, deny undead. There we go. Do I get undead stuff? No, I do not get undead. I was seeing if I get undead damage over time spells too. Sort of like Turning of the Unnatural, the way clerics get it, you know? And here we managed to pull him without pulling the ad. And if you're wondering what my mercenary is, it's that ghost right there who is just a healer. They're keeping me alive, and that is all. They're not going to be interfering with other things. So I probably pulled in the worst possible way, which was a direct damage spell. So I'm going to take a look here at what else I can use to pull, because there's better ways. There's better ways to pull. There's better spells that can be used. But right now, I just wanted to kill the undead because, hey, they probably got shiny things. And, you know, we all love shiny things. And, okay, yeah, shiny necklace. It's crap, but, you know, it might be worth some plat or something. So, talking about pulling and undead stuff, I usually pull with something like Aura of Pain, although that's not the best thing to pull with either. So let's take a look here. Jolt. See, Jolt is great. It's great for pulling, and spells like it. Fills target's mind with pure terror, inciting severe hatred. You get it to hate you without doing any damage at all, so they won't summon you like that one did, because if you notice, yes, I did get summoned when I pulled his ass. That's because I pulled with a direct damage spell like a dummy. Never pull with a direct damage spell if you can avoid it, folks. Unless it's like a level 1 direct damage spell, in which case it's better than some other things. So these are still light blue, so I'm going to keep on going. Not to mention, if I want to kill hands, they are a lot further in. There is a name that spawns behind the pool here, but he's not up right now. Also, I'm a little bit large, so there are 2 ways to get through here when you're large. One of them is to shrink yourself, so it just makes you tiny. It's like got crap stats, right? But that's not why you want it. You right click it, and it takes forever to cast, really forever, but poof, I'm tiny. And I think I can take it a step further and get tinier, like gnome-sized, but I think it requires a second casting. Yep, see, super tiny. So that's one way of getting tiny. The other way is illusions. Like this one, I got Polymorph Wand, illusion of Goblin. So look, now I'm a super tiny goblin. But both of those will shrink you a little bit, especially if you're very large. Now these guys can see me, so I might have to kill some of them. Yep, he aggroed, which is no problem. Got a healer and everything. So as a Shadowknight, you have invisibility, and you have invisibility for against undead. So you can really get around most dungeons. A paladin is not so lucky. I think maybe a paladin might have invis to undead, but that's it. Even that I'm not so sure about. Paladin aren't really the kind to go sneaking around. They're more like wanting to be loud and obnoxious. They want to be seen. They want to be heard because they're kind of snobs. And while Shadow Knights are also supposed to be kind of, you know, knights and kind of like snobby too, it's not like below them to use poison or to go invisible and be stealthy. So really, I feel like Shadow Knights are the smarter of the two. What's your opinion on that? Do you think Shadow Knights are smarter or are paladins smarter? I know paladins are supposed to be kind of like braver, maybe, but there's also that fine line between bravery and stupidity. I think I'm just going to go over this way because I'm probably going to have to fight this guy anyway. And that way I can avoid that one over there because these guys are kind of a waste of time. They're still only light blue. So what's funny is today was the day where they had that emergency patch, I guess. There was some kind of exploit that people were exploiting. And I was here in Vexar and had started filming this video when I saw the little announcement that the servers were going down. I'm going to adjust my gamma because it seems to be off. It seems to be a little bit low. And I'm like, dang it, I'm filming. Can't you do this another time? So I went over and I played on Project Lazarus for a bit. So you'll actually be getting a video about that too, probably before this one. Now, one thing that you might notice is killing things is a little slow. Wow, go pet, go. He keeps proccing the little fire proc on those hands that he's got, the fire hands. I made sure to give him those, even though they're not the best weapons. They're the ones that proc the lowest level, and I wanted him to be able to do that extra damage because I'm sure he's not doing a whole lot of damage anyway. So if he does actually land a hit, it's nice if he can lay that proc on him. Alright, let's go and viz Undead again because we're right here at the door. It didn't take hold. Why did it not take hold? Do I got too many buffs on me? Oof. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of Spirali Advisor, I guess, because I can always put that back on myself. That sucks, man, being limited on buffs like that. So for those of you that wonder, this Revenant is a placeholder for the, I think it's the shopkeeper. He's a skeleton and he drops the Soul Scream belt, which is a belt that has, I think it's a 31% haste and some other stats on it. So I used to camp him a lot. I think these guys, these highborns, can see through invis. Yep, and I'm gonna switch to a two-hander, the intricate, I guess, because maybe I'll do some more damage because I'm really not hurting these guys much at all. And the reason why I'm here is I thought I would take out the Revenant in the other room. He's a bit of a placeholder. Wow, was my pet taunting? He was taking hits, I know that. That's not good. He's not supposed to be taking hits. He's supposed to be just a little sneaky jerk that attacks from behind because he's way too squishy. He's like level 30 or something. And I am 63 if you're wondering. I want to see if I actually kill this thing a little bit faster using a two-hander. I'm still not doing a whole heck of a lot of damage though. But that's okay because the Shadow Knight isn't really designed to be a huge damage dealer. They're designed to be tanks. When you guys play a Shadow Knight or a paladin, what kind of weapon do you usually use? Do you use a one-hander or a two-hander? I'm curious about that. My two-hander is pretty good, but I think, or I meant to say my one-hander is pretty good, but I think this two-hander is dealing a lot more damage. I think it has a better ratio. It's just an intricate greatsword, but it's 33 damage, 33 delay. So it's got an even 1. It also heals a little bit of my wounds. Yep, these fights are going to be really slow, folks. I need to also remember to re-dot because the fights are so long that my dots wear off. I have poison also. Oh, hey! I've also got damage shield potions. So that's going to be a little bit of damage in my favor. Why didn't I think of that sooner? It's only 36 points, but still, it's better than nothing. I actually do have a better damage shield potion with me. It's just a matter of wanting to use it or not. Sometimes I use crappier stuff because I don't want to waste the good stuff. But I'm like, the stuff is there to be used. Stop being ridiculous. You're like the old lady who puts plastic on all the furniture. It's like, no, let's save it. Let's save it for when the good company comes over. What good company? How? Are we not good enough? Have you ever had that, like, I don't know, like a grandmother or mother who put plastic on all the furniture and stuff and everything? They wanted to keep everything looking nice. It's so ridiculous. It's like, I promised myself I was never going to be one of those silly people that covered everything in plastic. I wonder if, are there any named in here? I know that the remains of Sithrax spawns there. I keep wanting to run up and loot stuff, but that's because I was playing over there on Lazarus. They don't have an advanced loot system like we do, folks. So y'all should be really happy that we have what we have here. Stop complaining about the advanced loot system, because I tell you, I was missing it over there, man. It is so nice to not have to go and loot things. So here's one of the hands that I have to kill. I think it just says hands. Kill 5 hands. And this is a hand. Isn't it just charming? This looks like it really needs a manicure. This is what happens when you let Sith Lords cut off hands, folks. Either that or this is like Jaime Lannister's gangrenous hand. I'm just glad I'm not fighting a tentacle, because the name Theon Greyjoy would come to mind, and I don't want to see that. I don't think anybody does. These Game of Thrones references doing anything for you? I know I'm a nerd. So these hands are not undead, but you would think they would be. I guess they're just, I don't know, monsters. This could be Ash's lost hand, you know, from the Evil Dead. So I know that the hand is, there's hands in this room, but we're not going anywhere without seeing if the cook is up, because if the cook is up, we're taking him out. He went right past you, skeleton buddy, which is good, because you don't want his wrath. He would squash you. These guys seem to be resistant to the poison, but I guess undead usually are. Wow, Deny Undead has a very long cooldown, doesn't it? Kind of sucks. I'm tempted to switch out this cleric for a goblin caster or a melee damage, just because the killing goes so slowly. Let me make sure that my ringer is off on my phone. I don't want it going off while I'm filming. But a lot of what I do when I'm playing a Shadowknight is snare, dot, direct damage, and just, you know, taunt, bash. Sometimes I'll even use begging, because there's always that unproven thing that it increases hate and aggro. I'm not completely sure. You know, I could probably check though. So let's start fighting this guy, and let's see, we're at 99%. And if I press my my begging, because it does do ability 1, that's all it does. Let's see if it increases hate. It did. I don't know if it's because my sword proc or something else, but it did. I saw it go up. And to find out, you look here under this meter. So it's at 98 and it went up to 100 when I hit the begging. So I think that begging does increase hatred, because every time I hit it, it goes up. So I don't know if it's because I landed a hit or something else. So let's wait until it, okay, it's ready to use. Let's wait until it drops again. I hit it. And I guess it can possibly fail, like it doesn't trigger every time, but I have a feeling that it might really improve aggro, and that's why I do that skill. I believe in that that conspiracy or that theory or whatever you want to call it, that it does help with aggro. I think once my damage shield fades, I will use the stronger one that I have, the stronger potion. Also, do I have a regular? I have Banshee Aura, so let's cast that. Of course, it's got an insane cooldown. I also have Combat Innates, so there we go. So maybe I'll be doing more damage, shield damage. Yeah, it's 48 now, so the two of them stack, which is kind of nice. So one thing I do, or like to do, when I'm sort of soloing like this, is I do carry around a few extra things, like damage shield potion. I have potion, which is distillate of spirituality, clarity, replenishment. I have one for alacrity, which is a haste, and I have some healing potions, because if something happens where things get bad, or if I decide to switch out my healer for something that will just give me extra damage, then I want to be able to have a little extra healing on hand, or more regeneration or something. Because yes, I can life tap repeatedly, but if my mana starts to wear down, you know, it's good. It's good to have options. And I think what I'm going to do is switch out to someone who does more damage. So I'm going to wait for this little timer has to go down before I can switch mercenaries. And I'm wondering if I should go with a melee damage or a goblin caster. Hey, I'm a goblin, so let's get a goblin caster. That way he'll be like my buddy. Switch. There he is. See? 2 goblins just hanging out together. This one's just not wearing much clothes. He's freeballing it, man. He's got no underpants under there. And I'm like trying to look. What the hell is wrong with me? I don't want to see his junk. I don't think anybody else does either. But you know he's freeballing it under there. All right, so let's make sure that he's set to balanced, because if I set him to burn, I don't think I'm gonna hold aggro enough. Whoa, look at his hit points too, man. Oof, there's not much I could do. He's just gonna have to slowly regenerate over time. That's because that's what happens if you don't use your mercenary for a really long time. He's like got the health and the mana of like a level 30 from when I purchased him. But anyway, who knows? Maybe he'll still be willing to attack a little bit, and he's got a lot more hit health than he appears to have. And hopefully it goes well. Yeah, see, he's casting on him. He's nuking. I think a lot of people don't really like the caster mercenaries. I don't always like them myself because I'm afraid they'll run out of mana too easy. But the ones that run out of mana are usually the apprentice ones. The apprentice ones that are kind of terrible. See, he kept doing damage. I think that fight went quicker than some of the previous ones. This guy is a placeholder for a hand, so let's pull him so a hand can spawn in his place. See, he's slowly regenerating, and I think he's actually gaining more mana than he's using because he's not doing burn. But if I wanted him to do burn, he would. And burn is just a setting that makes them really unleash and non-stop nuke. Like let's set him to burn here for a second, and you'll see what happens. This guy's probably gonna, yeah, he's taking a lot more damage a lot more quickly. Don't worry, buddy. I'll take care of you. Us goblins gotta stick together. This is gonna be my thing now, man. I'm just gonna have him with me from now on. Which is funny because I named my troll Shadowknight Goblin. I don't know how many people have thought of doing that before. It's especially nice that I can have a goblin illusion, you know? Oh yeah, these fights are going so much better now. Let's take a quick look this way and see if the named skeleton guy is up. Nope, but let's pull these guys because maybe they'll show up after. The thing about melee classes is that a lot of them are pretty straightforward, except for maybe the bard. There's a lot of trickery involved when it comes to bards. Goodness, they're dying way faster now. I think I'm becoming a fan of the wizard mercenary. And look at that. His health and mana are at 100% now. So yes, he regenerates like a psychopath. I'm not even really taking damage either. It helps that these guys are light blue. I think if I was fighting the highborns, which are white to me, it would be a little bit different story. I might be using some of them potions and stuff. So let's go upstairs here. There's plenty of hands up here. See? It's like, come on, man, let me kill you. It's nothing personal. I was given this hand job and I have to complete it. I mean, this hand task. Yes, it's a hand task. Now, there's some AAs that I'm probably not using, and maybe I could take a quick look at some of them after this fight. And you can see I've taken a little bit of damage, but usually all I need to do is a couple of good spirit taps and I get my health back, or I could just sit and rest for a minute. So let's sit down here while we take a quick look at some of our AA abilities and see if there's anything cool that needs to be activated. Companions Discipline, Pet Hold. Okay, well, that's not something I need to worry about. Companions. Wow, a Shadow Knight can suspend their companion? That's interesting. I didn't know that was a possibility. Burst of Power. Destructive Fury. A lot of these look like they are just passive. They don't get triggered. I really like Finishing Blow. It's a nice passive ability. I'm so glad that it's included in Auto Grant. Ooh, I have a Summon Companion. Well, that's a hotkey I would like to add somewhere. Summon Remains. Oh wow, I get an AA ability to summon corpses. That's pretty cool. Weapon Affinity is another thing that I kind of like. It will cause your weapons that can proc stuff to proc more often. And if you're not sure, proc is just Everquest's word for trigger, like trigger effects. Harm touch, I already have harm touch, and I'm assuming it just upgrades every time, but just in case. There we go. Leech touch. What is leech touch? When activated, instantly drains 900 health from a target. Hey, yes, thank you very much. I like that. Let's put it here. Let's remove slam. I don't need slam at all. I don't need open. I don't need stand. I don't need this LOC key. Let's move spell practice all the way to the end, and we can add more stuff here. Leech touch sounds awesome. I love leech touch. We can even do the range attack and put it way down at the end. Mortal coil, soul abrasion, theft of life. It's a passive ability. Okay, so that looks like all for now. A lot of these archetype skills were passive, so we have leech touch. That is awesome. That's like a, you know, a stronger life tap. And there's a hand back here, so let's get him. I wonder what the cooldown is on my leech touch. Let me try to take a look at that real quick. Class leech touch. It doesn't seem to say when the timer is. So as soon as I get down enough hit points, I'll use it, just because I'm so curious. I've never used it before. See, a lot of times I get up to 60, 65, almost 70 sometimes in some cases, where before I even start remembering, oh yeah, I have AA abilities, let's go check and see what those are, and I start trying to get them. So let's, oh, there we go. We've got everything in the room coming all at once. So that kind of sucks. I'm going to have to try to pull aggro from everything. I'm also going to try to drink this regen potion so I regenerate some. This is where that leech is going to come in real handy. I think I'm going to harm touch this guy to kill him faster and hit him with the undead. Okay, let's also try to pull aggro from this other hand because I don't want my pet to die. I want both of these guys hitting me. Come on, damn it. He killed the freaking pet, you pieces of shit. Ooh, I hate you so much. Okay, let's try leech touch and hope it works well. So what's the 47 minutes? I might not last 47 minutes, folks. Well, I took a healing potion, so that really sucks, folks. Where the hell is that little goblin caster over here? Is he even blasting anything? Is he nuking these things? I don't know if he can see them from down at the bottom of the damn stairs. I'm really, really salty that my pet got killed. He was my little buddy, my little friend, and he was doing some damage. I am going to do AoE burn. Screw it. Let's try to get the goblin to help me take both of these jerks out. And if one of them goes after the goblin, then so be it. The goblin could take some of the heat off my ass. He's got an insane regen anyway. I don't think he's going to take a whole lot of damage. All right, so that died, and now we're going to finish off this one. So you can go back to balanced there, man. I had to do it. I want these jerks dead. They killed my friend. He's not going to be nearly as impressive now, too, when he comes back, because he had a lot of mage gear. He had the full armor. I think he had the focus gear that gave him a lot of more hit points, and the fists, and the mask, the haste mask. All right, well, at least we finished the quest, or the task, or the hand job, whatever you prefer calling it. And intricate, so we have flawed, and flawed. You know, I could give this guy an aug that would give him 40% haste, but for now I guess I'll get the intricate belt, because at least that has 30% haste, so I'll attack a little bit faster. I should do 2 more of these tasks to get the back and the shoulders updated. Those hands really pissed me off. I should go on a little rampage of revenge. Okay, let's summon a new pet. It's gonna suck now, of course, but it was still sucking, I'm sure, before. But before, it was also swallowing. So see, now I'm gonna have to switch to the healer for a little bit, just so the healer can at least buff my little buddy over here, just so he doesn't die completely immediately, you know? And I did give him a haste. I think that's all I can give him. Pet, miscellaneous, haste, and yeah. And he's just malignant dead. He heals. Well, I guess I could have healed him. I didn't think about using dark empathy. I once had a Shadowknight save my life as Fezzelwig. We were level 30-ish, and we were in the High Keep. We were fighting the goblins in High Hold Keep in the, in the basement there, and I had gotten aggro from some goblins, and I was just little squishy gnome caster Fez, and they were chasing me around and beating on me, and no one was really coming to help, and they couldn't taunt it off me or whatever. And I think my pet was already dead. I don't know. Along comes this human Shadow Knight named Shadow Serpent, and they start doing the life flow thing and healing me. And thanks to their like meager heals, it was enough that I did not die. And I think I did one of my little like bows and kneels in front of them, like gestures afterwards. I was very, very happy because I don't know if we actually had a cleric or not, but everybody was eager to ask Shadow Serpent to join us after that. After they were like, yes, thanks for saving the gnome's worthless little life. People have always been crappy to me as a gnome, but you know, I don't think I would trade it for the world. I like being a gnome. So I think I covered a few things. You know, you want to dot as much as you can. You want to use Jolt anytime you can. It's your job to get hit, not so much to deal damage. That's for the rogue to do. And you're supposed to keep the rogue and the clerics and all the little squishy finger wigglers safe. You're supposed to protect the gnomes and everybody else that's helping you out. And if you get a rogue, especially a journeyman rogue like this dude, he's going to do some serious damage and help you kill things so much faster. And you just got to keep them safe, keep them from getting hit too much. But if you find yourself overwhelmed, let them take aggro a little bit. Let them get hit a few times, because if you've got a journeyman mercenary, they're probably going to outlast you, which is really funny because, you know, if you die, another thing you can do is die. As a Shadow Knight, you have a spell that lets you feign death, so you can make for a good puller. And I guess that is something I should cover here. So let's do that. Let's recast Banshee Aura real quick. And then let's go to Beneficial. And here we go. We got Feign Death. What is Shroud of Undeath? I wanna see what this is. I'm sorry, I have no idea. Oh, hey! This lets me have a chance to steal energy from people. Okay, let me get rid of the Sprowly Advisor thing. Shroud of Chaos. Okay. Well, I didn't need to be a skeleton. That's fine. It's fine. I didn't want it. What's Comatose? Okay, is that the modern version? Like the improved version of Feign Death? I think it is. Yes. So that is the improved version of Feign Death, is Comatose. So let's take our little skeleton buddy here. Let's tell him to guard. I'm also going to set up a greater hold if I can, or hold. I'm going to tell him hold. So that's not attack unless I say so. I'm setting that guy to passive. And I'm going to try to hit this guy with Jolt, but then I'm going to feign death right away. So there you go. What use does this have? Well, I'll explain it. If there are enemies grouped close together, like 2 or 3 of them, and you pull and all 3, 4, 5 come running at you all at the same time, then you can feign death and not involve any of the party. If you do it far enough from the group, then you're not going to have to fight them all at the same time. And maybe that's something I could have thought of when I pulled all 3 of those guys earlier, but it just didn't even enter into my head. I completely forgot about feign death. So that is why I would not make a really great Shadow Knight as a primary thing, a primary class for myself, because I forget things like this. I'm more of a brute force kind of a person. And the whole feign death thing, it does take some finesse. And when I do finesse, it's more in the way of pacifying things like an enchanter or a bard or even a cleric or even a ranger, druid, or paladin can do it too. Not so much with the Shadow Knight. I don't ever think of them as having any finesse. I kind of think of them as brutes, but they're not. There's some subtlety there. So yes, because they can do things like that. So one thing is, a lot of times a Shadow Knight might pull using their snare, and that makes the one that you snared walk back slower than the others. And usually what happens, you feign death, so that other one kind of lingers. It can't leave as quick as the others, and someone else in the group might tag that one. And it's a thing that we've used in higher levels where we're in House of Thule and our Shadow Knight tank will feign death, and when all of the other ones start to walk back, someone will try to tag the last one to be leaving. And usually if we get lucky, we only get the one. We don't get the whole crew back And let's see how I do against something that's evenly matched to me. 63. And I don't even have a healer. I'm just going to be using the damage guy. Hopefully he comes here sooner than later because I could really use the extra damage on this guy here. And I don't even have my harm touch or the leech touch back yet. The good news is that I'm holding up pretty good as far as my health goes. Gonna keep trying to redot this guy to do as much damage as possible. And I think we're doing pretty good. Hey, my poison's gone. So I can get my poison back up too. I have some Scorpion's Agony, which doesn't just give me a direct damage, but it also causes more hate. So it's to help a little more with the aggro. I think I did pretty good against him. So I'm going to pull him with a spirit tap. So this guy's light blue again. So of course he's going to be way easier, which is kind of nice. It lets me regain some of my health. All right. Now here's going to be something tricky. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set myself as main assist, as main tank, which I probably should have done all along. And then as puller, and just to be safe, I'll set these guys to passive, tell my pet to guard here, I'll tell my pet to hold. And what I want to do is I want to try to single pull this room, but I know I'm not going to be able to. So there we go. I feigned death, and hopefully the Revenant will go back because I pulled the Highborn and the Highborn's been dotted. So we'll see what happens, if it works the way it's supposed to or not. And there it is. He is going back and he's cleared. And the Highborn stayed because he was dotted. So let's get my pet in here and everything. And then, all right, that was very successful. See, and that is how it's supposed to go. You're supposed to be able to do these tricky little things to split up a pull. So Shadowknights can be efficient and effective pullers. So you dot something, you snare something, and the thing that's snared will stick around while the other thing that added will leave. And once the room is broken, you could just pull normally and you don't have to go through any trickery until you get to the next room that has multiple mobs in it and you want a single pull. So we'll try that one more time and see if it works out well or not. Okay, so there's a commander and a highborn in there, so that's going to be super challenging. So for this, I'm going to try to pull to this room that I emptied out here. Come on, folks. Oh, I'm set to puller. So I got to turn myself off as puller. I got to tell the pet to follow so it comes up this way. All right. So I'm going to come to the very back of the room, set myself as puller again. And just to be safe, I'm also going to put everybody on hold and the merc on passive, right? And I'm going to try to pull the highborn with that shiny sword that he's got. And there we go. And see, because I got the pet on hold, he's not attacking. And I got the mercenary on passive and he's not attacking. And hopefully the other highborn will drop off aggro. Yep. And then I get up and I pull the one that's standing out in the hall. I take this guy off passive, set him to burn. I take my pet off hold. Perfect. Perfect pull, guys. What do you think? I could be a Shadow Knight. Okay, I'm going to use my sucky damage shield potion this time because this is going to be the last pull of the video. So yes, this is something I for sure wanted to cover. I especially wanted to cover it with a challenge where they were able to probably kill me if I pulled them both and didn't break them apart. So this is what makes a Shadow Knight useful in a group. See, a paladin can try to pacify, and at higher levels, 80 plus, they start getting some decent pacify spells again. And let's see what sword this is. Intricate Defiant Scimitar. You know, vendor fodder or something for my alts or something for the bazaar. So remember to take puller off if you want your mercenary to follow you, by the way. Always want to do that. And hey, we broke this room up. Let's come in here and kill this guy too. Why not? He spun me right round like a record. Round. All right. So this is my video on how I play a Shadow Knight. How'd I do, folks? How'd I do? I know I'm asking for trouble by asking for opinions, but at least I did remember the whole you can be a puller as a Shadow Knight kind of thing. And I think that's important because that is a big thing of what Shadow Knights can do, especially at higher levels. You can do it in places like House of Thule and stuff. 85 plus. We've done it in our group and it was phenomenal. And our current Shadow Knight is Yunkel and he's doing a great job. So that's it. I hope this video was informative and or helpful to you. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did like the video, give the video a thumbs up. If you dislike the video, you can give it a thumbs down. If you like what I do and you'd like to support me and the channel, consider subscribing if you haven't already subscribed. Or you could join the channel as a channel member. Channel members get special perks and privileges, like a link to join our private Discord server. If YouTube memberships aren't your thing, you can see the links below and visit my Patreon page. Patreon members also get similar perks, like a link to join our private Discord and ad-free content. Also, if you want to help out, you can always click on the Super Thanks button. The Super Thanks is like a little mini donation that you could say, hey Fez, thanks for the video. I would like to thank all of our current YouTube channel members and Patreon patrons. You guys help keep the lights on. You are the heroes of the channel. Thank you very much for your support. It means a lot to me. Thank you everybody for watching the video. I hope it helped in some way, shape, or form, and I appreciate you guys. Consider sharing. If you share the video, it will help the channel grow. And if we reach 1,000 subs by Christmas Eve, I will even dye the white part of my beard bright red for Christmas, just for you guys, and I'll even do a live stream about it. Thank you for watching. Have a great day and a wonderful tomorrow.